Processing wild horsetail tea. It's good for hair, skin, and nails. It's full of silica. It's got the highest concentrate of silica in the plant kingdom. It's over 300 million years old, making it the oldest living plant. It's also sometimes called the scouring plant because it has so much silica in it. It can be used for scouring pots. The silica also helps to fix calcium so that the body can store more in quantity of calcium and then repair its bones, collagen, and other body tissue. So it's good for people with osteoporosis, and it's also recommended for anemia, and it's good for treating deep-seated lung damage such as tuberculosis or emphysema. It's an astringent herb. It's diuretic. It has an affinity for the urinary tract where it can be used to soothe inflammation, hemorrhaging, cyst ulcerations, ulcers, cystitis, and to treat infection. It's also a remedy for inflammation or benign enlargement of the prostate gland, and it's used to quicken the removal of kidney stones. Its toning and astringent action make it valuable for the treatment of incontinence and bedwetting in children. It may also be applied to such conditions as urethritis, cystitis, hematuria, reducing hemorrhage, healing wounds thanks to the high silica content. It's a local astringent and anti-hemorrhagic effect explains the application in horsetail to such conditions as bleeding from the mouth, nose, and vagina. It's used to check diarrhea, dysentery, bleeding from the bowel, and for slow healing wounds, chilblains, and conjunctivitis. It constitutes one of the most diuretic species in all the plants. That is to say that it possesses a great capacity to eliminate water from the body in such a point to increase urination up to 30% more than what is habitual. That fact makes its scientific name Equisteum arvense. Generally appears to the composition of most of products that habitually are sold to reduce weight. This property is due to the action of several components, among which is necessary to highlight equistine and potassium, but there are another one that takes part, such as calcium, magnesium, ascorbic acid, and caffeic acid. As a diuretic, it's particularly suited to a metabolic or hormonal oedema during the menopause. The diuretic action is thought to due partly to the flavonoids and saponins inside of it. Equisteum is restorative to damaged pulmonary tissue after pulmonary tuberculosis and other lung disease, as the salicylic acid is said to stabilize the scar tissue. It's used internally to stop bleeding from ulcers, curb heavy menstrual bleeding. It's also used to gargle as a mouth rinse for sore throat and bleeding gums or mouth ulcers. Externally, it's used as a vulnerary and may also be applied as a compress to fractures, sprains, wounds, sores, skin problems, and a gargle for mouth and gum inflammations. It has been established that administration of salicylic acid causes leukocytitis, a temporary increase in white blood cells. Equisteum silica content encourages the absorption of the use of calcium by the body and guards against fatty deposits in the arteries. Its influence on lipid metabolism leads to potential benefit for cardiovascular problems.